so sad. I mean, the Imperial Digimon is so fucking cool. The Imperial Digimon is so fucking cool. He rises up, he flies up, he fucking nukes a castle for some reason, and then just it's so cool.
Like,
Fuck.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the DigiVerse DiveCast, the only Digimon podcast that is just having a date night, I guess.
no wheel
Yeah.
this time.
No
or
extra
whatever
wheel.
Where
it
do
is
wheel
he
go?
is.
No, I don't know. We had something to do today.
Fucked off. He shouldn't.
I know.
Imagine having responsibilities.
On a Sunday? Really, Leon?
Yeah, it's all like imagine like having to go to your job on a Sunday or something. That's crazy.
That would be horrible. I think I would just end it all if that happened to me.
How you doing, Momo?
Job.
This podcast is hosted by me, Lotte, whose Twitter @ is now Jerry Beans Them, thanks to the wonderful people on Bridget's stream.
I'm Momo. Dawn Trail's out, so I've just been doing that. I wish I was doing that.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Bridget. I'm really close to beating Dontrell and really wish I was playing Dontrell right now.
We're all there. So if we seem a little hurried to get through this episode, know that me and Bridget
I'm on level 99! I'm so close! Fuck!
literally stopped playing last night at the level 99 content to do something else, and we haven't gotten to play today, and we're both like jonesing to play. So if we seem a little rushed to get through the episode this week, that's why.
I've finished weeks ago. I just want to play.
Yeah. So, nothing. I shouldn't say nothing. It's been like over a month since the last proper episode, so some stuff has happened. A few things here and there. I believe last episode was. Wait, was last episode before you did the big stream?
No, it was during. That's why I wasn't there.
That's right. It was during. Jesus Christ. Anyway, yeah. The age of 30 is in demand and has been repeatedly proven to be so.
I made over $3,000.
You sure did. The fact that the actual like proper marathon ended on you having 30-30 is maybe one of the funniest things that has ever happened.
I'm not even 30 yet. I'm 29. Oh, by the way, it was my birthday between episodes. I'm 29. I'm 29 now. I'm not 30. I'm not 30 yet. Fuck off.
Just so you know, just for the viewers at home, as of next episode, look for small changes on Bridget's Fugi. Gonna be in a conversation with Lita.
Are you actually doing that?
No, God no.
I would kill you.
She might charge me for that.
I'd kill you if you did that.
It'd be really funny though. Like it'd be really funny.
If you were gonna do that, I would have told you fucking ask if I can get my piercing.
Oh yeah, we didn't put that on there.
I can't. Can we? Your nose is like a dot.
Hey, you just put
a
another
dot on the dot.
Yeah, you put another gray dot like just upright of it a little bit. It could show up.
It's important.
God, it's gonna be so cool when we get to Tamers and the Fugis aren't updated because I don't have that kind of fucking money. Sorry, guys. As much as I would love to update the Fugis, because I look different now. I style my hair slightly differently. My ponytail's longer.
I mean, I went for a pretty massive design change between episodes.
True, but like, I feel like, didn't we send her the version 2.0 as the ref anyway? Like, I'm pretty sure this is based on the version 2.0. It's got the longer hair, doesn't it?
Oh no, I thought we sent the one.
Wait, hold on. Let me save one. Oh yeah, it is 1.0. Yeah, so
it's 1.0.
Crazy. Oh yeah, if the rest of you want to pony up the $50 a piece to get those updated, be my guest. I ain't fucking doing it though. I'm poor. I have to pay for a course. Oh yeah, that's probably the biggest like giant major thing that happened in my life. So for some unknown reason, I acquired a bunch of money recently. Don't ask about it. And I am using it to sign up for a CELTA certification. That's kind of the C stands for certification, but whatever. To get a CELTA, which is essentially a certification for English language teaching adults, I think. teaching language, teaching
Mhm.
other adults, which will allow me to teach English overseas because I'm getting the fuck out of here and I'm going to be moving to the Netherlands to teach English. So, yeah, I'm getting my certification and I'm going to do that. And that costs like $3,000. But yeah, that's a pretty major thing that's happening. The course starts in like October. Yippee.
Woohoo!
Anything exciting happen to you, Momo?
Bridget was over here for like 2 weeks. That was fun.
What?
Now I'm
Yay.
now my vacation is over and I'm back in the fucking grinder.
Yeah.
Did like 4 nights in a row immediately.
God, Liberator had a update between the video that we just put out coming out and this recording. A couple days ago it happened. It was the second half of the Arisa versus Violet duel. It was really, really good, and the ending of it, I am so vindicated. Holy shit, that was one of the gayest sequences I've ever seen in my entire life. And like, it's not even just me. Bridget agrees. She read the same shit and even posted,
And-
"This is gay as hell."
Admittedly, I always thought, I immediately thought the Violet Arisa thing, you and I think Nazla were like
Yes.
pushing was like, I get it, like I understand. At the time at least, it felt a bit copers with agendas like flavored.
It mostly was. There were some small things that I think, but this is like genuinely like, obviously this is not going to happen, but there are small things I can point to pretend it could happen.
That it could happen.
Yeah. But now with the way that whole duel ended and the dialogue afterward, no, I don't even need to cope anymore. It just like it's not going to happen because they're fucking Bandai are fucking cowards and would never allow a gay person to be in Digimon. But like legitimately, like yeah, no, like there's a whole part where Ari says like, yeah, no, Violet makes me feel special. I'm just like, Jesus Christ. Fucking sepia tone flashbacks to, oh my god, it's so
In their
gay.
fucking skull outfits.
Yeah, like Jesus, so gay. Yeah, that was all that happened in Liberator. The translation is back on track. Depending on how quickly Bridget gets the translation for like chapter 1 done, that will probably be out the same week this episode comes out. Because I can typeset that shit like really quick.
That's the aim.
So over the next several weeks, chapters will be releasing with far more frequency because it doesn't really take all that long to do because, it's a webcomic, so there's not that much dialogue in there regardless. It was just a ton of stuff happened between releasing chapter 0 and being able to work on chapter 1 again.
Been a month. Month.
So, look forward to that.
Normalize being sleepy. I'm tired.
But with all that
out.
With all that out of the way, let's go ahead and get right into the episode, starting with episode 42, Attack of Daemon's Army.
Get him.
Get him.
Get him. Is that the right title for this?
No,
No, it's not. Why my notes got fucked up.
we got the last part of the world tour first.
Yeah. I was about to
What?
say, I watched the whole thing where they were in the pyramid where one had the candles on his head.
Yeah, sorry, one of my notes got messed up. The Japanese title for this episode is actually The Fierce Battle of Love and Borscht. Borscht.
Yeah.
Yep. So this episode opens up with the reveal that they are currently in Mexico. It is Yamato and Ken. And my very first note is Yamato ripping off his shirt like that one Germa gif.
Shout out to Mexico.
Shout out to Mexico. So it is, it's just them taking out a dark tower. My second note is in all caps, Ken Fox fire melt dark towers.
Boo.
So bad.
Boo!
It's so bad.
Boo, you are not cooking on that. You
No.
are not.
You
Throw on nothing.
You put that one there and not when they went to New York.
Well, because they don't use fire to melt the tower in New York. Like in this one, he actually uses foxfire to like melt the tower, and then Stingmon breaks it. It's not important. What's important is that this was like 12 a.m. and I was really tired watching this. Also, these notes are from like over a week ago. I went back and refreshed myself, but if I get lost again, like last episode, I'm so fucking sorry. So, they find out the other kids, the other Mexican Digidestins, all have a curfew, so they're sleeping right now and are not going to be able to help them. Which, you know.
This shit's serious.
So they attempt to like sneak into the pyramid, because the digital gate, or well, no, the digital gate isn't in the pyramid. The Digimon are taking refuge inside the pyramid, I think is what it is, because there's not a gate in there. They
Yes.
lead them back outside. And there's a bunch of like police officers guarding it because, you know, there are fucking monsters inside and they don't want people going in there right now, and also just general security because, you know, it's a cultural landmark. So they attempt to just kind of like walk up and be like, "Hey, can we go inside?" And one of the cops just pulls a fucking gun on these children.
Which Ken just starts speaking Spanish.
Yes. So yeah, Ken can speak not fluent Spanish by his own admission, but like enough to get by.
Decent. He can hold the cover, and everyone's just like, "Damn!" And like,
Yeah.
at least from what I'm hearing, like his voice actor's like doing it pretty decently.
Yeah. So this is just kind of like is throughout the episode, so I'll just talk about it now. They actually talk quite a bit of like actual Spanish in this episode. Like way more than any of the other countries that we're focused on. Like
Yeah, like when they go to China, it's just like ni hao and that's it.
yeah, and then the guy shows up and it's just like, okay, you can communicate with each other, bam. But in this one, even though the Genai clone, whose name is Jose, shows up, because he's not with them in the pyramid, he distracts the police officers with what would be a very racist display if this was not made in Japan. Like, Jesus Christ.
But it's also like he's like the air quotes like Mexican Genai, so it's like who is
I'm just imagining like the most like racist stereotype Mexican Genai. He's wearing like a sombrero, a poncho, he's got a little mustache.
And then performs the most racist stereotype Japanese like
I was just thinking he does that bit from Metal Gear Rising where fucking Raiden gets a poncho.
Immediately takes it off.
Adios, amigos.
Adios, amigos.
Jesus Christ. Like he starts doing the whole fucking like, oh god, what is the name?
Like a
Kabuki?
kata. Oh yeah, no, he's doing
theater?
like a kabuki. He does like, you know,
Yeah.
the pose.
Yeah. He does like that whole spiel, and like I'm watching it, and I'm just like, holy shit! If this was like anything other than anime, this would be so fucking racist.
Okay, it's like, okay, so he does a kabuki. Well, it's like, oh, like, because everyone's like, oh, he's just gonna do like a kabuki routine, and then he just starts doing like making like Bruce Lee screams.
Yeah, and like
doing like kung fu poses.
Yeah, he does the fucking the Fist of the North Star ta thing, and then he starts doing like one-handed handstands and shit. Like,
and he just starts pointing.
Yeah,
go that way, go that way.
It is a wonderful little vignette. So they go ahead and, you know, manage to get inside the pyramid. But yeah, back to the whole Spanish thing. They speak a lot of like actual Spanish in the episode, like because they can't bridge that communication gap, and Ken can speak Spanish, and it makes me think someone in the studio might have just actually been able to like speak Spanish, just might have been bilingual, and was like, "Yeah, sure, I can throw you some phrases."
I wouldn't be surprised if because what's at Ken's voice? I think it's Romy Park, isn't it?
I don't know.
Ken say you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Romy Park.
Yeah, no, I feel like she might have just known some Spanish because again, it doesn't sound all that awkward. I mean, God, I don't speak Spanish, but she says it fairly confidently and clearly.
Yeah. It does not sound like someone who can't speak the language reading off a script. Like,
so that one really feels like, well, yeah, I could do a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Or she was willing to learn some for the episode,
which was cool because it was the only one they did that for. In fact, there's another part in the later half of this episode where they make a joke about the fact they can't speak it, and it's like a bit, come on. Fucking come on.
Don't worry about it.
they are in the sorry, I'm remembering what happens and laughing about it. So they're walking through the tomb, and like I think it's Gabumon says to Yamato, like, remember, fucking Tails gets trolled that bit where, is it Sylvester or Coyote that says, like, even with seatbelts, people die in car accidents all the time.
Even with seatbelts on, people die in car crashes all the time. I just thought that was interesting.
I just thought that was interesting.
I think Gabumon basically does that to Yamato about this being a tomb and having ghosts in it. It's so fucking funny. He's like, yeah, this is a tomb. There might be ghosts. And Yamato's like, that's awesome, dude. That's so cool that you're telling me this right now. Genuinely very funny.
This makes me think of Nier Replicant and how Grimoire Weiss, the ancient magical book, is afraid of ghosts.
Mm-hmm. They see a big scary face. It's one of like the carvings on the wall of the pyramid, and Wormmon gets freaked out about it, and he's very cute and adorable. Please protect him. So he says that he's going to, because he's like, oh, Ken, you're probably scared. I understand that you're scared right now. It's definitely you. So I'm going to go ahead and light this place up for you. He goes off screen for a second and comes back with like 2 little light bulbs on sticks that he has strapped to his head.
I think they were candles.
Oh, were they candles?
Or at least they looked like candles.
They might have just been candles, because like all I saw was like the sphere of light, and then I was just like, oh my god, this fucking. Oh yes, they were. They were like one of those like the typical like ceremonial candles, like just the pure white ones.
Yeah. Yeah.
God, and they're just strapped to his fucking head.
But just like the layer of like, oh, he's probably scared of the ghosts.
Mm-hmm. Gabumon proceeds to say that Wormmon is scarier than any ghost would be, and it's just like, Gabumon, come on, fucking be nice.
Boy, why would you say that? What is your problem?
Yamato is literally like hitting him with like the elbow while also laughing, and you're like, don't say that, man, come on. They're such assholes. So at this point, Wormmon takes charge because he's got the light, and he rounds the corner into a Gotsumon, and they both freak the fuck out. This Gotsumon is the partner of a young Mexican girl named Chicos. Which, that name is a bit weird. I'm pretty sure that's just the plural of child. Whatever.
She's yeah, that's what's weird. She's multiple children.
She's a collective. Yeah, they run into her, and she's immediately, of course, infatuated with Ken because he can speak Spanish, and he's, of course, very handsome or whatever. He's like 11, but she's like fucking 6, so.
And he's just like kind of like, what's the word, playing along with her, just like, yeah.
At which point, Wormmon makes an insanely racist remark by calling her tacos. Which is really fucked up.
Just like, I don't know any words. They just start getting really annoyed at each other, and Wormmon has no idea what she's saying. Like, so he just says the only word in Spanish he probably knows, which is taco.
Fuck, Jesus Christ. After this is an incredible comedy beat, though, of him like doing that thing where you walk by and intentionally bump into someone and then go, "Oh, sorry." At which point she calls him a worm.
Yeah, because I like the bit after that where, like, I think Yamato goes, "What the hell did she say to him?" Called him a worm.
Yeah, called him a worm. Don't tell him. He'd be really upset. So they continue
doing the worm on my squid.
Fucking goddamn you. So they get to the depths of the pyramid, and when I saw the 2 Digimon that were in the depths of the pyramid, I had a fucking, like, we're talking like Slumdog Millionaire, I got the words mixed up, like style flashback with my fucking neurons connecting. The 2 Digimon that are in the pyramid, this like, like Mayan style pyramid, because it's in Mexico, is Minotaurumon and Dokugumon. In Digimon World 3, there is a Mayan temple-themed area in the jungle, and the 2 Digimon you encounter there are Dokugumon and Minotaurumon. And I think this episode is the reason that is the case.
Hang on, let me do some quick cross-referencing here.
Yeah.
Digimon World 3 was 2002. Yeah, that would have been about that.
Yeah, it was definitely after this. Because there's Tamers Digimon in Digimon World 3, so it has to be after this.
I assume they just picked them because, like, well, the Labyrinth, the Minotaur.
Oh. Yeah, that's true. I mean, but like it's specifically like a Mayan style temple, and Dokugamon is also.
I mean, yeah. One is probably in the other as a reference to the other, but I assume the actual picks of Digimon is in the first place is because well, it's a labyrinth.
I fucking guess.
I'm not saying one isn't referencing the other.
I know, I'm just being petty about it. Wormmon continues to be incredibly jealous about Chikos because she's getting a lot of attention from Ken because he's playing along with her infatuation.
He's very good Wormmon faces this episode.
Excellent. And it's very funny because Wormmon being kind of annoyed at women fawning over Ken has just kind of become a mainstay. Because even in the
beginning,
in the beginning he does it.
There's a bit where he's in like college, and like girls are like a bunch of girls are trying to get him to like hang out or whatever, and he's just getting like it's a look up. Oh, for fuck's sake, this again.
It's great. I love that this became a running bit with Wormmon.
Who want me?
So they decide that definitely not a good idea to fight with monsters inside this important cultural landmark. So we're gonna take this outside. And while they are running, because they Yamato like fucking
he taunts them.
Yeah, he does a little routine to get them to start chasing him. While they're all running from the two, Chikos trips, and immediately Ken is like, "Oh God, are you okay?" and like grabs her and picks her up. And Wormmon sees this, proceeds to also trip, hear someone approach him, and immediately leap up because he assumes it's Ken. It's fucking Gotsumon. Good old
Ken, help me.
Please help me. Yep, they get outside and then they have a fight. It's like they have a fight.
They win. They fight. They win.
They fight and they win.
In case you were worried.
So this is when I had the note about Gotsumon and Chikos actually speaking Spanish, and like maybe someone in the studio actually spoke it. And now we move to the second half of the episode, which I have not nearly as many notes about, which is Sora and Miyako in Russia.
They go. They I think it's like they immediately meet like the three Russian kids, and they're just like, wait, shit, you know Russian? No.
Well, the first thing that happens is we see that the Kremlin is fucking under attack.
The Digimon are all attacking the fucking world landmarks.
It's God. But yeah, so they meet up
because in France they attacked what's it? Not the Eiffel Tower,
the
but
Palace of Versailles.
Yeah, the Palace of Versailles Palace.
So they meet up with Anna, Lola, and Yuri. And then, because they realize they don't speak the language, they begin to go back and forth, pointing at them individually, saying their names, and smiling about it. And they do this like 3 times, and I was going insane.
I just started laughing. I don't know. I think on the 3rd time, I just burst out laughing.
Because like after the 3rd time, there's just silence for like a full 2 seconds while they just stand there and look at each other.
Just when it cuts back to like one side, and they just go, Oh
my God. And at this point, it's realized like, oh God, they don't know what they're doing. So they're just like, okay, maybe we can communicate if we just try to get our feelings across. And they just start really intently staring at these Russian kids. And they're just like, what the fuck are they doing? So Sora's like, oh, I know a bit of Russian. And Miyako's like, you do? And she goes, yeah, Peroshki and Borscht. And Miyako's like, I'm gonna fucking kill you. Like, actually,
I
in real
swear to
life.
God. I swear to God.
So I think like Miyako
This
figures
is
out.
actually equivalent to just being like, yeah, I know some Spanish words. Taco, burrito.
Wormon, not cool. Miyako eventually Miyako figures out, wait a minute, okay. Like he starts like going like saying like if I point in this direction, I say this.
Yeah. He says
if I say this, go this way.
Piroshki is right, borscht is left, and caviar is attack.
It's like what else is a Russian food? And so it goes caviar.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that works. So they begin their aerial assault. They basically just start taking out the Flymon left and right.
Sneemon is there.
The Russian kids' partners are a Sneemon, a Kuwagamon, and a Unimon. It's very funny to see all of the Digimon like doing their moves and everything to take out the Flymon, and then it cuts to Garudamon, who just like open palm slaps a bunch of Flymon out of the air. Like she doesn't even do a move.
You always forget just how big Garudamon is.
She's very large. Honestly, she probably could have handled this whole situation herself. She's a perfect level, and Flymon are like adult. I'm pretty sure she could have done this, but you know.
Shadow wings and like burns down the whole fucking Kremlin.
Just quite. But yeah, so they pretty handily take care of that. And while they're about to go celebrating afterward because they're very hungry, and the Russian kids
let's get some piroshki.
Yeah, and borscht. They start like motioning for it, and then the Genai clone of Russia who is late, his name is Ilya, shows up, and he's like, sorry, kids, you're not allowed to have food. You must brave the harsh Siberian winters.
I'm sending your ass to Siberia.
Just like, there's a bunch of Mammon. Go take care of them. And they're both just like, what? No, we're hungry though.
It's also like, what the fuck? That's like 10 Mammon, Ilya, you dickhead.
So they go to the harsh Siberian tundra. And they see a bunch of Frigimon attacking Mammon and doing nothing. And they are basically freezing to death on top of their Digimon. Miyako actually starts, like, falling asleep, which is one of those things where it's like, you know, if you're really cold and you fall asleep, you just kind of die. So they're just like, they say
more cross-literally like, don't do that. Don't do that.
They say, oh no, you'll fall off. But what they mean is, oh no, you will straight up fucking die. So they wind up being too cold to like actually properly fight the Mammon. Sora falls off of Garudamon and Aquilamon catches her. And when everything is looking bleak, Imperial Dramon shows up and just kind of wipes out the Mammon with no problem whatsoever.
It's like, I think you might have killed someone, Imperial Dramon.
Just, like, I don't think they even show them putting the Mammon back to the digital world. As far as I know, they're all just dead. They are taken care of off screen.
I did it, Daisuke. I did it, Kenshin. Imperial Dramon. People have died.
People died.
What's that?
We don't understand the concept of death. We're Digimon.
You will soon.
That's kind of like the arc of the upcoming episodes, is teaching these kids that sometimes people have got to die and there's nothing you can do about it. Everyone starts complaining about how these women are so fucking needy with their piroshki and borscht.
They're spin though. They just let them get their food.
Mm-hmm.
You're also selfish. Just take them for some food.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It is now revealed that Genai has erased all information about Digimon from various world organizations' computers. I don't remember if this is relevant at all for the rest of the show, but they did that, I guess.
I think it's just more so like you just them going, oh, so fucking like, here's why the military is interfering.
Mm.
I don't know shit.
Fair enough. And then
I think I remember like, because he talked about it earlier. I think it's also just, you know, they don't want the digital world to be such a fucking widespreadly known thing.
Yeah, especially not to the military. That's a good point. So now we get a bunch of vignettes of all the various kids we visited, including the French girl who, for some reason, is having a romantic table-light a candlelit dinner with Taku's fucking grandpa. What the hell's going on there?
They're just bonding over being weirdly patriotic.
Yeah, I don't really like any of what's going on here.
They've got little wine glasses and champagne. What the fuck is happening?
Why do I hear cop sirens outside my window? Hang on.
All right, moving right along into Shin Dub Zone episode 42, Digimon World Tour Part 3. Can you believe it?
Can you believe it, guys?
So, Chico's name was changed to Rosa. That's it. Only name change.
Okay.
Wait, I forget. Did they change the Australian kid's name?
Yeah, they changed it from Dingo to Dennis.
Sam.
Or
it was kept that.
It was like Derek or Dennis or something. Oh wait, I could just literally scroll up and check. Derek. Yeah, it was Derek.
Derek.
The gun has been removed. Can you believe it?
No way.
I know.
What did they just cut out that shot, or is it pointing?
They just have a still. They have the still frames. They have the still frames before of him, the close-up shots of them just talking, and they just overdub it. So they just cut out the animations. Just left it as a still frame. There's a really fucking weird bit of dialogue when they get back from being nearly shot at by police. Wormmon asks, "What did that guy say to make you so mad?" Speaking to Ken. "He called me a punk," which he does in Spanish. And Wormmon says, "There was a time that would have been a compliment." To which Matt says, "Times have changed." And then Gabumon replies, "Yeah, for the better." Huh? What?
That's fucking the boomer taking over whoever wrote this script.
I was just pro-establishment what the fuck is this? Why did Gabumon suddenly be like, punk is dead and you shouldn't like it? What the fuck was that?
I'm 55 years old. I still have to write for fucking Digimon. My penis still doesn't work. Fuck me.
I hate my wife.
I hate my wife. The old ball and chain. The Genai clone is still called Jose, which is nice. At one point, Wormmon makes what I can only describe as a Luigi noise when he gets scared. It is something along the... So I'm going to try to replicate this as best I can. I'll cut this out if it's embarrassingly bad. But when he sees the carved head on the wall, he goes basically wah! Like that. That's the noise he makes.
It has been so long since I've seen Digimon dubbed. I'm so used to Japanese Wormmon. I forgot. Oh right, he sounds like that in English.
Yeah,
he's he's got a gentlemanly voice to him or something.
Well, it's more it's snivelly.
Yeah, it's the way he speaks.
He's like, "Oh, can I help you, master?"
Yeah, it's a very peon kind of dialogue, but it's given in that kind of that fucking mook.
Because I don't think when they started the show they realized what would happen, what Wormmon would end up doing.
Yeah, so they just kind of had to double, triple, and eventually quadruple down on it.
Yep. Rosa still calls Wormmon Gusano in English, or in the dub. But Ken says it means fish bait instead of worm, which kind of the same thing, but
I guess so.
Sorry. I forgot how annoyed I was because my next note is just the Russia Kids intro is a fucking disaster. I'm not even gonna bother.
No, that's a minefield. We should definitely just not even yeah. I'm gonna be happy when we're out of the dub zone forever and we don't have to talk about, hey, here's this really racist bit that happened. I'm I don't know what to say about that. That's just, man, fucking 90s, dude.
Yeah. All right,
we can move. The 90s. It was like I think it was early 2000s actually.
At this point, it was like 2001, 2001, I think.
Did 9/11 happen yet?
Yes. By the time this finished airing, I think so.
Okay, so around this episode, probably it's okay. There's only one time.
Actually, no. Actually, no. The show finished in May 19th, 2001.
What about the dub?
I said the dub.
Oh,
the show.
No, there you go.
The dub actually only finished like 2 months later.
Oh, they were trailing behind a lot closer than you thought, huh?
Yeah, no, it was basically as it was releasing.
There are like modern anime dubs that don't trail behind the Japanese release that closely. That's fucking fascinating.
Crazy. So we can move straight into episode 43, Attack of Daemon's Army. For real this time. Miyako is still screaming about the fucking piroshki and borscht. That is how this episode opens.
Well, they should have given it to
her. Hikari is very reasonably worried about, like, what's next. Because, like, the immediate issue is solved, but they have no idea what caused it. So she's just kind of like, what are we gonna do? To which Daisuke, for the first time ever, makes a good point.
No.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
He says, we've done a lot today. We should probably rest. We can worry about what comes afterward when we've gotten some sleep.
Oh my god, he made a basic, like, observation that was correct.
And you're not the only one surprised by that. Literally everyone else comments on the fact that they cannot believe Daisuke made a salient point.
It like lingers on like everyone staring at him for a second. Isn't he just like, huh? Why is everyone staring at me?
Yeah. And like I think Taichi says, oh man, I guess even you can say some good stuff every now and again. And then Daisuke's like, well, and does the whole like the nose scratching thing, and he's like, you know, and then Miyako's like, oh my god, he's a fucking idiot. This kid is so stupid.
Dumbest Digimon protagonist. It actually like
not even a contest.
It does not get like you'd figure Marcus. No, Daisuke's stupider than Marcus.
So everyone kind of splits up, goes home, because at this point it's late on Christmas Day.
Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas!
It's July.
Merry Christmas, everybody! Can you believe it?
Oh my god!
So Takuru's mom randomly brings up, oh yeah, some weird fucking creepy guy was talking to me at the market today. It made me really uncomfortable. And Takuru's immediately just like, what? A weird man was talking to you? Was he human? And his mom's just like, what? And he's like, never mind. He assumes it's Mummymon. Obviously, she's talking about that really creepy encounter she had with Oikawa.
Mm-hmm.
He assumes it's Mummymon because they haven't met Oikawa yet.
Because then you see like a man in like a large coat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which I mean, is fucking one culprit in this fucking show. Like.
So Ken's mom is understandably extremely worried because he's getting home so late without so much as a call. Yeah. So you know they hash things out there. When Ken because you see Wormmon like climbing the outside of the building to get into Ken's room, and when he opens the door, Wormmon's like, "I'm getting fast, right?" It is
like, I'm pretty good at that.
It's so cute. I love it. God, I fucking love Wormmon so goddamn much. While he's talking to Wormmon, he spots like something moving out of the corner of his eye, and he's immediately like on high alert because he's just like, "Shit, what was that?" Decides to let it go for now because they all need sleep.
It's like it's probably our Kanimon. She's probably watching me again.
Mm-hmm. We cut to Iori and his grandfather doing, the
kendo.
Yeah, kendo, and then they go to pay their respects to Iori's father. And Iori's just like, how did Dad die? Like, he just opens on that. To which his grandpa's like, oh, he died protecting like a VIP or something. I don't know.
Yeah, like a foreign official or something like that.
He was a cop. He was doing security. He died in the line of duty. And those are the only two that like have any substance to them. We just get a bunch of other vignettes with like the family afterward that don't really like say or do much. They're just cute little like interactions between Merry Christmas, everyone, Merry Christmas. The only one that has any, or the only other one that has like any real like substantial dialogue to it is the one with Taichi and Hikari, because Taichi is like, so do you know if the other kids have the resolve to kill someone? Because we're getting to a point where we're going to have to make that decision, and I don't know if they're ready for that yet. And my immediate thought was, fucking finally, someone is bringing this up. That these kids are gonna have to kill these motherfuckers.
It's like you're gonna have to deal with fucking Mummymon and Arukettimon eventually.
Yeah, like, you can't just let them keep going. Like, you realize you're going to have to kill them. I know you're okay with it. We've killed before.
This entire part is quite literally, I think we're gonna have to kill this guy, Daisuke. Damn.
That is the next 3 episodes of the show. With all the various characters. Oh, God.
This has been, like, a really particular sticking point for this season in particular. Like, I know why multiple times now we've brought up the idea of, like, oh, man, we're gonna have to kill people. Which, like, again, I don't necessarily think it's, like, a bad point to be brought up, but following Adventure, where we were just very blasé about it, it feels weird that now we have to start, like thinking of the implications.
Another instance of the show having like a genuinely interesting idea behind it that is unfortunately kind of like soured by the fact that it is a sequel to Adventure 1. Like,
because it's like it's like, oh, but like you guys are okay. It's like, but you know, these guys have to think about it. And it's like, why did it, like, it just kind of brings up in my head, why do they got to think about it when you guys didn't, right? Like, why?
I mean, some characters did. It was like a whole thing for like Mimi.
Oh, yes, yeah. Mimi very much struggled with the idea of like actually having to fight and kill. Unfortunately, she's the only one that's like not here. Well, and Joe.
Yeah. It's just like, it's not a bad concept. I'm just like, I'm just kind of struck with this. This feels really late and forced to be bringing up in the sequel series.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, I don't know, we were fucking murking dudes back when they invaded Tokyo, like fucking left and right, dude.
It's a very weird thing. This feels like they could have had a whole episode dedicated to like Mimi talking with all of them, being like, yeah, I used to have this hang up too. Like, I used to be so against fighting and seeing things get hurt. But at a point, you're going to have to realize that if you do nothing, things are going to get worse, you know, complicit, etc., etc. That would have been a good episode. That would have been awesome.
Yeah.
But we don't get that. Because
there's unfortunately...
Like... Go ahead.
There's too much going on in this show, because we're about to get to it.
No, I know. So at this point, we are reaching a point where there are 4 separate plot lines happening in this show. Like, at least. It gets a bit messy.
There's like what? There's the Oikawa stuff.
There's Oikawa and Arukettimon, Mummymon. There is there's the Daemon stuff. There is technically the Dark Ocean stuff, which is like semi-unresolved and comes back during these set of episodes. And then there is the whole idea of them not wanting to kill people. And then there's also Black War Greymon.
Black War Greymon, who we've just kind of like, he's walking around somewhere right now.
Yeah, no, I mean, he took a proper exit from the show for a while. Like, he had his little thing, and then he went off to go do something else for a while, which is totally fine. Them reintroducing him along with 3 other fucking plot lines was probably a bit much. They probably could have just let his arc end there and maybe gave him like a little thing later. But
like at the like a little say, like, because I'm not gonna get into that part, but it's like the one part of this that I particularly liked in this entire batch. And it's like, we had all this shit going on, and I'm like, even if some of them were pretty fun on their own, did we need the World Tour arc? Because I feel like that thing just kind of entirely like wasted time from the fucking multiple plot lines we have built up and then are doing nothing with.
Yeah, no, spoilers for the wrap-up episode, World Tour is going to be my worst part of the show.
Because it just, like, it doesn't contribute to this, like, to any of the narratives going on. And it's like, why are you introducing this so late when your amount of plotlines are at fucking fever pitch? Like,
yeah, we're getting into like theory crafting. Like, I think the idea was probably we want to do the like Digimon invading the real world storyline again, but we need to up the stakes somehow. So rather than it being just like Hikarigaoka and Odaiba, it's the world, and they have to go all over the place. And it's like, it's a cute idea, just its placement in the show is bad. And the fact that it ends and immediately splits into 3 separate storylines that are from previous, it's weird. The back half of the show is such a fucking like mess, and that is yeah. Well, we'll talk about it during the wrap up. But there was production stuff.
Yeah, it's also just my thing real quick with the whole like, oh, we want to do the invading the real world thing. The reason that the Digimon invading the real world thing was like, you know, like the most beloved part of the original adventure was because that was the part where like the stakes were the most real, and like where because they had to like reacclimate to the real world and like to their parents after everything else, there was like every character basically got something huge for their arc in that. Meanwhile, this world tour stuff is just like a bunch of comedic filler episodes almost. Like the tone and like the importance of these is like completely just not what this needs to be right now.
Yeah, so I mean, O2 was clearly never meant to be like, O2 was very clearly meant to be a more lighthearted Digimon show, despite how heavy some of the subject matter in it is, like everything to do with Ken. From the get-go, it was very much like a more fun group of friends having a more fun adventure. I think at some point they decided they wanted to shift the tone a little bit, but they either decided too late or because of the rampant production issues during the second half of the show, which are like well documented at this point, and we'll probably talk more about during the wrap-up episode, because holy shit. Like, there are stories of people just being like, yeah, we were just throwing shit at the wall and seeing what stuck.
Yep.
But like, we don't need to get into that right now.
Yeah. I need to save my energy for when Daemon actually shows up.
Like, I was still enjoying myself pretty thoroughly watching these episodes, because I think they're fun. Like, when I start thinking about everything a little too much, then it's like, okay, like, it's not, like, good, but I can still enjoy it, like, junk food style stuff. Like, I don't have any real, like, hang-ups that ruin everything for me. They're just kind of minor annoyances for me. But we'll get to that.
Sorry, I'm mentally ill.
No, it's okay. Like, I understand why you are the way you are. Anyway, where the fuck were we? Right, Ken has a nightmare about the time he was in the digital world with Ryo, and it just kind of casually shows them killing Millenniumon, which is the ending to one of the games.
Did we talked about the WonderSwan thing before, right?
Yes, we talked about the WonderSwan games.
Okay, thank God, because that's another whole thing. Ugh.
That's not even this show's fault. That's just a weird fucking...
But it's like, there's sort of important backstory for Ken in those WonderSwan games as to like what his fucking adventures in the digital world were, but like it doesn't super matter, but there's like it's like the full context. It's so fucking weird.
Yeah. As it turns out, it's not a recent thing that Digimon as a franchise didn't know what the fuck they were doing as far as like continuity and whether or not things connected to each other. It's just always been like this.
This is just like a Bandai issue, like in general. Like they love like hiding extra context and like little bits that explain characters behind like side material, drama CDs, booklets. They love that. Is just a like actual Bandai issue.
Thanks, Bandai. Sponsor the show.
No.
And at the end of this like nightmare he has, we see a weird dark thorn thing enter the back of Ken's neck, which very clearly causes him immense amounts of pain. Like, he is like shrieking over this, which of course wakes him up. And he asks Wormmon, like, did I hurt my neck back then? And Wormmon's like, oh yeah, something like that did happen. You got better though, so I didn't really.
You got better though.
There are 3 mysterious figures watching Ken from a rooftop. Or I guess it's 4? Is it? No, because Marine Devimon couldn't be there because he's fucking enormous.
He wanted to be.
Yeah, he wanted to be there, but he's too big. Ken starts, or the next morning rather, there's a report on TV about a bunch of children going missing. And for some reason, Ken immediately is like, this is very bad. This is a very, very bad thing that is happening, and we need to do something about it immediately. Which, you know, he's right. But he just has one of those, like, instinctual, like, uh-oh. So we cut to a yacht, I guess. It's like there's a wedding happening on a boat. It's one of the ugliest crowd shots I've ever seen in my entire fucking life.
This show already does not have good-looking crowd shots half the time. Especially in these fucking Blu-ray rips that don't look very good.
Yeah.
Half the fucking background characters look like they're melting, or like by default. This shot, oh my god,
it's really rough looking.
It's so bad.
It seems like they might have had a wider shot that they just digitally zoomed into, and then the Blu-ray did not like that. Everything's smeared in Vaseline. Anyway, Marine Devimon interrupts a wedding and starts attacking.
Okay.
Yeah, he's attacking. A mysterious evil Digimon is now attacking the bay. Then Lady Devimon, a returning villain, technically. Not the same one, but, you know. Causes a major traffic accident where multiple people probably die. We can hear the multiple cars, like, crashing in the background during the close-up of her. So I'm pretty sure she's responsible for at least a couple deaths.
Good for her.
Yeah. And also Skull Sadamon is here. Love this guy. Actually love this guy. His design is so sick.
You might recognize this guy.
Yeah, if you read fucking V-Tamer. Read V-Tamer, by the way.
Oh.
What?
Oh, do I get to share my little pet theory, the one I've had for like months? So this episode is the start of the Daemon arc, right?
Calling it an arc is giving it a little too much rope.
Mini arc. So, you know how this entire bit feels, how do I put this, weird, and like it doesn't fit, and like it comes right the hell out of nowhere.
When did that chapter of V-Tamer come out?
So, this episode, what, 43?
I gave Bridget this theory.
Invention of the Invasion of the Daemon Corp. In Japan, aired on February 4th, 2001. Now, Daemon is perhaps, again, most well known for being the main antagonist of the manga V-Tamer, which, if you somehow don't know that, that's like the most famous Digimon manga. It is the one where Taitu's design actually originates from, as it predates like Adventure by like a couple of months, I think.
It's like the actual first piece of like Digimon media that isn't the toys.
Yeah.
That's where all 4 Speedrumon's from.
That's where all 4 Speedrumon comes from, and like the whole Speedrumon line. So and Daemon is the main antagonist of that. Despite it being the first, that manga went on for a fucking while, like all the way through like the original run of like Adventure to Frontier. V-Tamer was running through all of that.
Yes.
And at some point, it's had 2 crossover chapters. One in Frontier, which is kind of irrelevant and doesn't really matter to anything we're going to be talking about, even in Frontier.
Yeah.
But there was one with Digimon 02. This chapter came out on January 15th, 2001, whereas this episode, once again, February 4th, 2001. So about a little over 2, like somewhere between like 2 to 3 weeks apart from each other, basically.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of cross-promotion.
What I think happened here was that this was a bit of cross-promotion that comes at the worst possible time in the show, and for obvious reasons, as this manga has never been officially localized in English, is a crossover bit that goes completely over the head of anyone from that isn't that was watching the show as it aired in English.
Yep. I didn't realize this until this conversation.
So, And now, granted, this has never been officially confirmed as far as I can tell. There might be some, like, Japanese-only production notes that mention this, but, like, you know, we fucking don't have that information. But my theory is that this is just a very, very poorly timed crossover that the English-speaking audience would have had no idea about. So, for the English-speaking audiences specifically, this literally just comes straight out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It's not just like Daemon, it's also, I'm pretty sure Skull Satamon is from the manga.
Yes.
Yep.
I believe Skull Satamon shows up much earlier in V-Tamer. He's like one of the...
Yeah, no,
he's the thing that shows off Jogwarts, isn't he?
Yes.
Yes. So, like, that's fine. I don't think anyone is, like, as far as I can tell, has ever brought up this theory, but like seeing how things align, it would make sense because otherwise, why the fuck is Daemon here? Like, why is one of these 7 great demon lords just fucking chilling out here when there's already all this other shit going on?
Also, yeah, I guess this is also the first instance of the demon lords appearing in the anime.
Had they been established as like the demon lords at this point?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think that doesn't happen until like Lusamon becomes a thing.
Beelzemon and Daemon get retroactively made one.
Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense. Yeah, so weird. So that is the reason. That is like, I honestly can't see there being any other reason why Daemon just fucking suddenly shows up. Like there's no build. Like,
in any way, there was no hint to this.
He just shows up. Fucking weird.
So bizarre. This is such a weird I did not like these next 3 episodes because I'm just like, what the fuck is any of this?
So we get Takaru and Iori go to take on Marine Devimon, which leads to another appearance of Submarimon. I forgot how often this motherfucker actually does show up in the show.
He should show up more than Digimon.
I think so. At least post
like
yeah,
like post like Jogress, he definitely shows up more than Digimon does. It's really funny because I also sort of appreciate this motherfucker shows up like 2 times.
Dagyoor.
Yeah.
So, and then I realized, wait, Takaru's here too? Why the fuck did you become Submarimon? Why not just fucking Joggers? What are you doing?
Because there's water.
Because there's water.
Our Jogresses became irrelevant because Imperial Jamon showed up. I'm sorry.
They do stuff. Yeah, they do stuff. They do stuff for the next couple episodes. Oh, Zunamon is here. that is my note verbatim. He's like, oh, he's here. Hey, what's up, big guy?
Hi.
So they just kind of buy enough time. They kind of like hold off Marine Devimon to get it's enough time for people to get off the boat. That's where like this scene pretty much ends. They're just like, okay, yeah, we got the people off, and this fight is going to continue. We cut to Akilamon and Angelmon fighting Lady Devimon. The very first thing we see happen is Lady Devimon use a flaming nightmare wave or darkness wave. Is it nightmare wave or darkness wave? I'm getting
darkness wave.
Sorry, I think it's Guilty Black is actually what they call it in the sub, weirdly enough. And it's like a bunch of bats, and they're on fire for some reason. And this lights Akilamon on fire. Like, she is... sorry, I forgot. He is on the ground. Just, like, trying to put himself out. Like, just on fire. Very fucking strange. And then Angelmon shows up and they do a thing.
The fucking second I saw that like fucking Lady Devimon was part of this, I'm like, come on. I know what you're doing. I know exactly what you're fucking doing. You're fucking kidding me.
I thought this was only in 1. I didn't know they had it in both.
Yup. We get
because when it happened in 01, I was like, oh, I thought this happened in 02.
No, we get
how foolish of me.
We get the cat fight again. Lady Devimon like grabs her hair and then they start slapping each other. This shit sucks, dude.
Yeah, it does.
Fucking, I hate it when they do this shit. Anyway, Skull Satamon is just fucking working these guys. Like, it's Paildramon, Metal Greymon, and Atler Kabuterimon, and he is just mopping the fucking floor with them. It's also weirdly well animated, by the way. Just like him rinsing them. Taichi basically runs up to Ken and Daisuke and is like, stop thinking about it, just kill him. Like, these aren't Dark Tower Digimon. I'm sorry. You're going to have to murder someone.
He is ontologically evil and deserves to die.
Like, come on, dude. You cannot be thinking about this kind of stuff right now.
Daisuke, are you really telling me you aren't willing to kill a guy who literally has Satan in his name?
So, Imperial Dramon gets hit by Nailbone and shuts off? At which point Koshiro says his data was destroyed. So, that's like a thing that winds up happening. Just kind of weird attack that just kills him. Skull Satamon then proceeds to continue mopping the floor with literally everybody. No one can even put a hand on this fucking guy. The rest of the original cast winds up de-digivolving down to Rookie, and the reason is because they're tired, because they haven't spent this long in the real world before, so they can't, stick around in their higher levels for too long. So everyone's like, we gotta send them back to the digital world, but before that, they all give their energy to Imperial Dramon to try and wake him up, and then the O2 Digimon do the same. At which point, Imperial Dramon, his eyes flash red again, and we get fucking fighter mode, baby! God, fighter mode is so fucking cool! So cool!
Got all those words around him.
Yeah. Sick as fuck. And then his intro screen says, standing on 2 legs increases his attack power.
Wait, yeah, now we can throw a punch.
I guess. Oh, right. Also, Skull Satamon picked up a bus full of children and was basically threatening to kill all of them.
Fucking green goblin over here.
At which point, Fighter Mode just uses Positron Laser and deletes him. There's no more qualms about killing, he just deletes that fucking guy.
No Giga Death yet.
No, not yet. Daemon shows up after they kill Skull Satamon and is like, hey, Ken, you have the Dark Seed in you. Come with me. At this point, Arukenimon and Mummymon show up and reveal they're not on the same side, and they want Ken to come with them. And they also have a truck full of children, which is weird.
Sus. Stop being sus.
And then they're just like, and then they clarify, no, don't worry. These kids came with us out of their own free will, as if that somehow makes it better that you have a truck full of children.
I mean, remember that one weird kid who, when he saw fucking Arukenimon, he said something like, she looks like she could make my wishes come true or whatever.
Oh, yeah, like, we know these kids are fucked up and weird and did come with them on their own will, but
no, but that kid in particular. That kid in particular.
Just the idea of her opening up the back of a van and there being like 20 children inside.
I'm just calling the police.
I think you need to be in jail.
I think I'm starting to find this really funny just for the idea of Arukenimon, obviously being a Digimon and not realizing how fucking bad of a look this is.
Like, she does this, and immediately, like, Ken and Takaru, like, the more responsible ones, like, have their phones out and are dialing 911, and just like, wait.
What? It's like, what? I got a bunch of kids in my van. I told them I'd give them whatever they wanted.
Keep digging that fucking hole for herself.
I'm taking them to a warehouse.
I'm gonna make their dreams come true.
I'm taking them to meet this strange man.
There's this fucking cop sirens again. What the fuck's going on?
What did I do?
Oh my god. Alright, we're gonna get as far away from that as possible. Shin Dubs on episode 43. What's up, Bridget?
Oh my god, we're still only on 43.
Yeah.
Also, yeah, Ken goes with them.
Yeah, Ken goes with him. Okay.
Yeah, he's going with the strange van and the stage van. Officer, stop!
We're recording a podcast. Don't break down the door right now. Can it wait?
Come on.
Shin Dubs on episode 43, Invasion of the Daemon Core. By the way, call Daemon in English right now. Creepymon is a later thing. I don't know when the change was made.
That's so fucking stupid. If you could call him Daemon on fucking kids' TV, what the fucking...
It's Daemon with an A.
You can put him on a card. You can put Daemon out in a card game mainly made for millennials. Like, come on.
It was probably one of the games that he's in.
Mm-hmm.
It was definitely before the card game.
Fucking is it wet or Creepymon?
Creepymon.
I walk into the game store, I ask, is the Digimon creepy or wet? The clerk.
I'm gonna...
Yeah?
You keep going with Dub. I'm gonna see if I can figure out where Creepymon's from.
Sure.
Let's look inside. It's Creepymon.
Oh my god, Creepymon, hello.
Oh my god, hi. So, other name changes. Marine Devimon stays the same. Guilty Black was changed to Darkness Wave. The other...
That's on the earliest call.
Yeah. The other move that they say Lady Devimon has, which is just called Poison, was unnamed in the dub. Skull Sadamon is the same, but it's pronounced like a SATA cable, not SATA like Satan. So it's Skull Sadamon in the dub.
I do think they say that way in Japanese.
They say SATA.
Do they?
Yes. Almost positive. God, I hope I'm right about that. If I'm wrong, oops. Momo was right. I was wrong. They say Skull Sadamon in the sub. Please tear me to shreds in the comments.
Seemingly, this comes from just the reference book.
Huh. So when he was officially put into the reference book, they changed his name?
I guess so.
Weird. Huh. Anyway. Nailbone was left the same. And the Dark Seed was changed to the Dark Spore. My very first note, this episode hasn't changed much at all, I'm not gonna lie. Catfight is more catty in English, go fucking figure. I don't even remember what they say specifically. I forget...
watching these two fight almost makes my penis work.
I forget who says it, but someone says, "We have a verdict. You're ugly." Yeah. I should have attributed these quotes, because another character says, this guy's got excited molecules?
That's gotta be Izzy. There's no way someone other than Izzy said that.
Yeah, you're right. It has to be Izzy.
I'm sure he said prodigious 50 fucking times as well.
And then finally, during the Imperials Run Fighter Mode info screen, they say his fighting power is tripled. Not doubled, tripled.
He's 3 times faster.
Broly from Dragon Ball Z, his power is maximum.
Okay, so we are an hour in already, so let's go ahead and do Momo's Digimon of the Week and questions.
So
Momo, tell us all about this guy.
Well, I figured we're having, Daemon's here, it's a big moment, the introduction of the Demon Lords, technically. So I figured, why don't we show off some guy who maybe gets a little less love as far as the anime goes. Here's Leviamon.
Big guy.
Mouth is fucking huge.
He's a gator. Now,
Big gator.
what? Now, there's a lot I love about this guy, because like other than like Balthamon, all the demon lords are like they're just the evil demon people mostly. They're like they're like cunning or something like that. The big gator.
Yeah.
Or you're Beelzemon, where you're mostly where you're mostly represented as a good guy, but you look evil as shit. So.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy's very funny because, like Examon, he's not quite Examon big, but he's supposed to be really big.
He's huge, yeah.
He's definitely meant to be like the Examon equivalent for the Demon Lords.
But however, many Digimon games are not able to get this across, so whenever he shows up in a game, he is cartoonishly small.
It's so funny. That screenshot of him in what? Fucking Next Order, is it?
It's Next Order, yeah, he is like... He's tiny. He's smaller than like... He's like rookie height, because he's very flat.
Because yeah, like he's so long that the model needs to be shrunk down so much to fit and make it look appropriate that he's so itty bitty.
Armageddon also suffers the same issue.
Any of the long guys.
Now, and another thing, and I like to. A funny thing about him is obviously there are 7 demon lords. Each represents one of the 7 deadly sins. I believe Leviamon was the last Digimon they made fit this group.
Mm-hmm.
And by that point, there was only one sin left.
Gluttony,
so
right?
By process of elimination, he is the Demon Lord of Envy.
I don't think this thing doesn't look very envious to me.
It is very funny because so if you're not familiar, the way it goes out is Lucamon is Pride, Pride. Lilithmon is obviously Lust. Belphamon is Sloth. Daemon is Wrath. Barbamon is Greed. And Beelzemon is Gluttony. Which, I understand logic. That makes sense.
Yeah.
But then they made Leviamon. And I'm like, yeah, you can probably just swap that around. No one's going to care.
Yeah, I feel like if you made Beelzemon Envy and Leviamon Gluttony, literally 0 issues with the theming on this group.
So, do you want to hear my insane theory as to why they thought Envy was a good enough fit for Leviamon?
Go ahead.
So, when a lot of things are symbolizing envy, they use a serpent?
I guess he
is like a reptile.
I mean, Leviathan.
Yeah. So
I guess
that is the only thing I can think of.
I mean, that's also always the funny thing of Demon Lord of that's always the go-to is for someone to represent lust. It's oh, sexy lady.
Yeah.
And then not ever oh, it's just a very horny guy or something like that.
Be wrathful like Daemon.
Sexy cat.
Gluttonous like Beelzemon. Sexy cat. Oh god.
And of course, because I don't want to go too long. My favorite thing about Leviamon is, of course, as I refer to his droop snoot.
His snoot.
Yeah, snoot that droop.
His snoot droop.
He's a long boy.
Yeah.
I do. Leviamon. The more I sit on him, the more he might be my favorite Demon Lord. And
I love this guy.
And literally because I unironically think he's kind of cute.
Yeah. We'll ignore that one alt art in the TCG that makes him look genuinely terrifying and unsettling.
Because it's I guess
I
that's
never
the other thing.
Leviamon as a buddy.
He's so good because since he doesn't appear in a lot of things, he's usually shown not in the water because his thing is he's an aquatic Digimon.
Yeah.
So he's he looks kind of bumbling, just going around like a fucking alligator. But then you see art there's some art of him where he's shown swimming through the water and it hits you oh, in the depths of the ocean, this thing is slithering around him, which is fucking that sounds terrifying.
Yeah, it's also massive. If you see that thing and it opens its mouth underwater, that is maybe one of the scariest pieces of imagery they could possibly make.
Shout out to that one Digimon card where he's just fucking eating Gomamon.
That's the EX6 Leviamon, yes. I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great card.
The normal art. The other is droop snoot.
Yeah. All right. Thank you very much, Momo. And
the snoot would droop.
Yeah. Okay, so for questions, we actually have 2 this week. And I'm a genius and wrote down who asked them in my note stock so I don't forget and have to go back to the video to check. So, first up is a question I can't answer, but you two can. What's your favorite season of Toku? And this was asked by Anime PDX.
Ooh,
I can't answer this question. I've never seen a full season of Toku.
And at this point, I assume you won't out of principle.
I downloaded the entirety of Dawn Brothers. I'll watch it eventually. And I have to watch 01 because it has a non-binary character. I have to watch King Oger because it has a non-binary character.
So speaking of, Dawn Brothers is up there. I think currently I would probably say Kamen Rider Fies.
Fies? Huh.
I like Fies, you know this.
I know, but I thought it was like X8 or Drive were your favorites, huh?
At the moment, I'm feeling Fies.
In my case, Dawn Brothers is my favorite Sentai. I haven't seen too much Garo besides like the first season, which I did really like. I've seen a couple Ultraman. My favorite is like Mebius or Nexus, I think, either of those. But my overall favorite Toku, and I do hate to be boring, but it is likely a Kamen Rider season. It's like, it's kind of it's between Kamen Rider Kuga and Kamen Rider Ryuki. Right now, I'm feeling like it's Ryuki, but sometimes it's Kuga, sometimes it's Ryuki. It's kind of like nebulously those two, but right now I'm feeling, yeah, probably Ryuki.
What the fuck are these two talking about? I don't know a single
the
word.
Fucking question! The question that was asked!
I don't know a single goddamn word coming out of these people's mouths.
Also, check out Kamen Rider Agito. That show's pretty fucking
That show is
cool.
fucking... That show is fucking sick. Yeah.
The main character's like a male wife. It's crazy.
yeah, he is.
Alright. Well, hopefully that was a satisfactory answer. Despite the fact that I didn't give you one. You know. Alright. And our second question, which is something I can answer, from Vidros. What underrepresented Digimon, like specific Digimon or groups, would we want to see within the TCG? Or just a specific group or Digimon that could use more support, like another wave of support in the TCG?
You know, I really think like we don't get enough of those Royal Knights. I think like an entire new support wave for those. I think we need that. I think that'd be really quite something we could use.
Yeah, okay, so now that the entirely predictable answer is out of the way. So, God.
I mean, there's a lot.
Yeah, there for me there are several that I really want to see. So
I feel like a future Olympus 12 like Zoo deck in the style of the 7 Demon Lord and Royal Knight one is like in the cards. It feels like
that was my number one choice. Is I want the Olympus 12 to have a Zoo deck. I love the Olympus 12. I am one of those people who just really likes the Olympus 12 for some reason.
I'm not a big fan of them. I like the uniformity of something like the Royal Knights or even like the 7 Great Demon Lords a little more than I like the Olympus 12, which just feel like it sometimes kind of just feels like a mishmash of designs that kind of got put together in a group like retroactively.
Yeah, I mean, because you know that's kind of what happened. They just designed a bunch of Digimon based off of what is it Roman? Is Roman or Greek?
The Pantheon,
Greek.
yeah.
Greek. Okay, yeah, just like Greek gods. You know, Venus, Juno, all that. Well, Juno came way later, but yeah. So like, and they just kind of these are a group now. But. And, like, there are several Digimon in the Olympus 12 that I think have kind of bad designs. Marsmon and Bacchusmon. However, the highs of the Olympus 12, for me, are significantly higher than, like, the Royal Knights or the 7 Great Demon Lords. Like, things like Plutomon or Junomon, for me, and, like, Apollomon and all them are just, like, so fucking cool. Like, they are so high up there on my list of cool shit. So, you know. As far as, like, less, like, a specific thing I would like to get more support. So,
Make a Deep Savers Army deck, fuck it.
I mean, yeah, fuck it. Like, I mean, because Fish...
that's Fish. That's Fish.
It
was until Jampengmon showed up.
Yeah, because now we got Jampeng and all that, but... So, I want Rosemon stuff, however, because Rosemon already has a 17 billion cards. Give me a fucking playable Reflezimon. I'm begging you. Please, playable Reflezimon.
Oh, I just thought of a group of Digimon that I'm kind of shocked didn't get that doesn't have like a coherent strategy yet.
What's up?
The Bonchos.
Oh my god, yes! Jesus
you have, like,
Christ!
disparate like Boncho, Lilymon, Stingmon, and like Leomon like cards, but there's no like Boncho like deck.
Yeah, I think we have all of them except Golemon, I'm pretty sure, as individual cards.
Yeah.
But we don't have a deck for them, which is insane.
And like some of those cards are like really like that Boncho Lilymon's bad. Like you don't play
it's a
that
bad
fucking
card.
anything.
The Boncho Stingmon is the funniest card ever made, and the second a deck comes out that can utilize it effectively, it's fucking over. But like that's not gonna happen for a very long time.
I was really hoping a Sector would be it, but unfortunately the deck plays like a little too offensive to make a like very offensive card like that work.
It's an interesting card. Like the effects on it are so fucking weird. Go read it. It's like a BT 7 card 3 BT 3.
Yeah, it's like old as shit.
Really old.
But like it's still like if a deck can make it work, that's a fucking terrifying boss monster.
Oh yeah, that is a card that will do 3 checks at 17k at a baseline if you can get a deck making that work. Yeah, with piercing. If you can make that work. 3 checks, baseline, no problem. Fucking insane card. But the issue is that it requires so much setup. Anyway, yeah. Momo, what about you?
Well, there were a bunch I would have asked for a while. Like, for like, I think almost 2 years, I was like, how the fuck have they not made more Diaboromon cards? I can't believe that's a thing I had to beg them for. Fucking Diaboromon.
Yeah.
For a while, my answer would have actually been Millenniumon, because that was also insane how it got like one BT2 card and nothing else, but they also recently remedied that one.
Oh, yeah.
Another one would have been like, because like obviously like you see a bit of her in the Beelzemon deck, so that's cool. But like, you know, that was a really old strategy as well. It's just like I guess sort of Beelstarmon on her own was also a deck for a bit, but like the rest of the stuff that came with her didn't kind of fell off. So like a proper Three Musketeers deck would have been cool. And they finally made one. That's neat.
Yeah, they've been really good about being like, oh, we should probably like give proper decks to like some of these groups.
So
or like iconic Digimon.
Yeah.
So my big one is currently, because this was like my favorite deck for a while. It's like Hunters, or just I guess just specifically like Arastrodramon.
Yeah, that's
because that was like a really good deck for a long while, but it's kind of fallen off at this point. So it's like I think you can get away making more stuff. Maybe people are sick of it. They're afraid people are sick of it, so they don't want to give it more cards to just bump it right back in. But I don't know. Arastrodramon's cool.
Yeah. The only other one I can think of where I would be like, I really wish this strategy got like a wave of support, and it's not really another wave of support. I want another wave of Gamamon support that swings it back toward being red-purple instead of purple with a little bit of red. I would like.
I feel like the Ghost
purple
in like the sea of like the recent Digimon shit. I feel like Ghost game was handled like extremely poorly. So I would like a set for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, give me like we have a Jellymon deck, we have a Diarbit deck, we have a Gamamon deck. They were fine on release, and then the LM2 stuff came out, and they got good, quote unquote. But then they were immediately eclipsed by everything that came after. Like they had no time in the sun whatsoever. They need a good second wave of support. And while we're at it, fuck it, give me a full-blown Quantumon deck. I don't care how you do it. That is one of the funniest cards you have ever printed in this game. Give me a deck based around that kind of strategy. It's so insane.
And of course, my default Digimon Universe Aptly Monsters. You put them in the reference book, they count now.
That's true. They do count now.
Yeah. That one's like there's a whole fucking all of them. So give me more.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want the Dokemon deck.
All right. And with that, we're going to move into episode 44, Deadly Battle with the Dark Digimon. We have 3 episodes left. We've got to start fucking moving.
You already had your big thing about fucking Daemon.
Yeah,
I think
I
we're
don't
fine.
really have much to say on these next 2 episodes, honestly. Not much interesting happens here.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. So, uh, like, the whole Oikawa group obviously has Ken in the back of their truck, and they're speeding away. So Daisuke is just like Daisuke takes off trying to chase the truck. Arukenimon says like, "Oh yeah, I never said I would let the kids go if you came with me. I don't know why you thought that." And so, she doesn't let the kids go. Ken is very upset about it. All the children are kind of weird and fucked up. Like they all are very reminiscent of, go figure, the Digimon Emperor. Oikawa starts talking to Ken, is like, "Oh, you don't remember me?" And he's like, and my note is creepy ass man hyphen because I got cut off at his brother's funeral. Because that's apparently when they met. And I was just like, what?
I'm gonna prank this stupid child so hard.
This dumbass.
Oh my god.
He's gonna think it's so funny.
They also they keep very casually mentioning that Daemon is the villain, which is like feels like it should be a slightly bigger deal than just like, oh yeah, Daemon's here.
Oh yeah, the demon. He's here.
Fancy that, huh?
Dude, whatever. Do you know that one meme of like the alien like landing down and there's like just like the doomer guy meme?
Yeah.
And he's just like,
Man, I got a lot going on.
Are you unimpressed? I don't know, man. I got a lot going on in my life right now. This is just bad. This is just bad, but like fucking demon.
God. Miyako continues to have worries about killing Digimon, at which point, I forget who it is, but someone basically grabs her by the shoulders and is like, "Get over it. We're gonna have to murder these guys. Like,
you have to do what needs to be done.
For fuck's sake." My next note is just, surely Sylphimon versus Lady Devimon won't be as misogynistic, smile. And to their credit, it's not. Kind of.
Did I miss something?
I mean, it's not as misogynistic in the way that they're catfighting with each other. It's misogynistic in the way that all the people around keep commenting about how hot Lady Devimon is. It's fucking weird, man. Oikawa reveals that the secret relation he's had this entire time to Ken, he's his dad's coworker.
The diabolical.
It's such a lame fucking reveal. Just like, what? Wait, what? That's seriously? You're my dad's work buddy? The fuck?
I know a guy.
He's like weirdly mysterious about who he is beyond that. Just like when he doesn't really need to be. We learn later why he's like this, but yeah. They go over a train track, and at this point, Joe's brother, Shin, I think his name is, has, or it's Gene, it might be Gene, has picked them up in a car and is like chasing down the truck, and they cross over the train tracks, and the things start coming down to let them know they can't go because the train's coming. So they get stuck there. The train goes by, and there's this admittedly very funny shot of where it's like 3 full seconds where they're just like sitting there waiting for the things to go up. They're just like, what's going on? And then a second train goes by, and they're just like, okay, that's fine. And then as the second train is going by, a third train goes by in the opposite direction. At this point, they all start screaming. Weird that there was this comedy bit in the middle of what is otherwise a very intense chase sequence, but I digress. We are told that the dark seed is actually what made Ken so smart and special. I guess this is a thing this does. If it is put in a child, it makes them smarter and more athletic. Okay.
Dark seed.
At which point, Oikawa takes out what I can only describe as a grocery store scanner.
It's like that's a fucking barcode scanner.
And scans the back of Ken's neck. So I think this removes the seed, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Here it removes it or copies it.
Yeah. I can't read my next note because I forgot what I put there. But the point of this note is that Ken calls out for Daisuke first, which, you know, rainbow flag question mark.
Help!
Help me! So they're like stuck at a red light or something. I forget what exactly but like Mummymon is staring up at the sky, and he starts like being really corny with Organimon, and she is just like, "Are you serious? Now is not the time," and then starts hitting him. Which,
I love you.
Fair enough.
Their dynamic. Every time I think of their dynamic, you know that bit in like that one episode of SpongeBob where they knock on the door. I love you.
Slams the door in his face. They approach some random like the Digidestin, the kids approach some random person on the street, and he always like, "Have you seen this car?" And he just holds up this shitty little drawing of like a truck.
And it's just like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this, man. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, little boy.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of those today. Like, I don't know what you want me to tell you.
This may shock you.
Because yeah, they're stuck in like a traffic jam. At this point, Daisuke decides fuck it and just has Vmon digivolve to Ragermon and starts chasing the truck on foot because, you know, Ragermon's really fast. Don't know why he didn't do this before. I honestly like the next minute of the episode is a total fucking mind gap for me. The next thing I remember happening is Marine Devimon starting to like destroy buildings and shit. And I don't know if this is just my note. There's a couple who like is worried because like the house he just destroyed was something they were renting. It like wasn't their house or something. I don't.
Forgot. I genuinely I watched these like about a week ago, dude. I forgot.
Iori gets very upset seeing property damage and decides that, you know what, we gotta kill this guy. Actually,
it's like when they start attacking a hospital.
Yes. Yeah, he's like destroying random buildings and he approaches a hospital. So, you know, Shakomon and they start having a cool kaiju fight.
Yeah, Shakomon gets really big.
Yeah, like really large for some reason, and there's this cool, like really harsh shading in the scene.
Yeah, the lighting looks sick.
Mm-hmm.
Like
that
bit looks really cool.
Very cool scene composition wise. And then also Sylphimon and Lady Devimon are fighting each other.
Oh yeah, I like the bit where like Sylphimon gets knocked on the floor and some guy in a fucking beanie goes up to her and is like, "Hey, that's a cool costume, man."
Yeah, damn, there's a cosplay convention happening right now, and she's just like, "Get away!" Like this weird vampire woman is dangerous, and this is the point at which the dude goes, "Whoa, she's kind of hot," and it's like, bro,
like good for you, man.
At which point, Lady Devimon grabs this teenager and is holding him hostage. But before the resolution to all of that, we cut back to Oikawa talking to Ken, and so he says, and I think this is supposed to be a pun thing. He says, the name Hikarigaoka, I never really liked it. I think something along the lines of Yamigaoka would be better.
There's like some, I don't know about your version. It has some like TL notes on it.
Okay, mine didn't. I'm assuming the kanji for Hikarigaoka is the kanji for light.
Probably.
Okay. And yeah, so he's making a thing where it's like, oh, he
just starts making some stupid jokes and everyone's just like, what are you doing?
My exact note is corny ass motherfucker. This is my OC Dark Gaoka. Just a peek into my twisted mind.
And isn't there, I forget if this might have been earlier. Isn't there a bit where they go over like a bump and like he completely loses composure, just kind of pissed off at Mummymon?
Yes. Oikawa's a very funny villain. We cut back to Sylphimon and like lying in a crater with Lady Devimon holding a teenager hostage. Miyako is just like, fuck, you know what? No, fuck it, I'm doing something. She grabs one of their skateboards and just fucking hits Lady Devimon in the leg.
Get her.
It's pretty fucking cool, I'm not gonna lie. At which point Lady Devimon's like, oh, okay, you wanna die then. And as she's about to kill Miyako, Sylphimon uses Top Gun to just kill Lady Devimon. At which point Miyako's like, oh no, you killed someone. And it's like, fucking yeah. Like, what were you expecting to happen in this situation?
I feel like we...
Like,
Man.
I understand Miyako being the one who takes the killing the hardest, because this has been something she This has been something she struggled with throughout the season.
It was like the fucking damn episode, like fucking 4 sessions ago or something.
And
like,
also,
this is at least working off of something.
Yeah, like the very, very beginning, she mentions not liking wanting to fight. Like, she doesn't like the idea of having Digimon fight with each other. And Sora's like, oh, you remind me of Mimi, etc., etc. Like, this has been a thing for her. Yes.
Yeah, they worked off of something previously established with her. A noteworthy development in the handling of Miyako in the show.
Yeah. And so, like, I get it. But, like, at this point, come on. Like, I get, like, her being upset is understandable.
But it's like, I think there's like this degree of like, yeah, okay, I get it. I don't care. Like, I think my problem with this is just like this has been a thing they've been touching on, but they've been waffling on doing anything meaningful with it or reaching any kind of conclusion with it. This basically since the second arc started, like the second half started, and just I don't care. I don't care about this. This is not interesting.
So Iori, Takeru, and I think Shin as well are like getting a girl in a wheelchair out of the hospital because apparently, well, actually, I'm assuming that the elevator is probably shut down because of the giant kaiju battle happening outside.
Maybe the giant fucking creature.
So they're helping her get out of the hospital, and Marine Devimon busts open the wall and is about to hit all of them, and so Shakamon just fucking vaporizes him. So basically, what this episode was showing that at any point they could have killed these guys easily, but were holding back because they were worried about, you know, committing murder until the point they literally could not like prevent themselves from this. This is the Man of Steel shit, where it's just like they are faced with, I either kill this ontologically evil creature or I let other people die because I wasn't willing to kill myself.
I feel like this is such a bad, I don't know if this makes sense. This feels like such a bad group of villains to try to do this with, if that makes sense. Where it's like, oh, I feel bad about potentially committing murder against the literal god fucking demons. Like, is this, like, are we fucking, like, like, is this the kind of group where you, like, propose this moral quandary with? This...
It's, like, it has been a constant thing even before, like, even, like, during the Black War Greymon shit, they were just like, I don't know about actually killing things, they're not Tower Digimon. Like, I get... It's just such a weird, like, character arc for all of them because it's so spread out through, like, 20 episodes of the show, and it's...
Where they just, like, kind of forget about it for, like, fucking 5 to 10 episodes, and then just kind of feel, like, almost what feels like almost at random bring it back.
It's very weird. It is not handled, like, well at all, in my opinion. I'm okay with it because I want to give them some rope at all, but like it's not great. Iori obviously also takes the death of this thing right in front of him harder than anyone else because he was one of the other people who was particularly struggling with this issue. As basically where this episode ends. Shin Dub Zone episode 44, Dark Sun, Dark Spore. Genuinely kind of a cool name, not gonna lie.
Yeah, that's pretty sick.
So Daemon was changed to Daemon, but spelled differently. Because it is no longer just spelled as demon, it is D-A-E-M-O-N. Like,
I feel like this was fine. Why do we got Creepymon?
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. I really don't know. I'm gonna try to have to like find out why that happened. So at one point Oikawa says to Ken, "You remember that? Just think about it." And Ken goes, "Mm-mm." And then the flashback happens.
Is your family missing? Think about it.
In the dub, Oikawa is just a friend of Ken's dad, and they have a quote-unquote working relationship. I don't know what the fuck that is supposed to mean.
Were you fucking my dad, Oikawa?
So, Okay, this is so full disclosure, I watched 44, 45, and 46 dubbed before we started recording, like literally 2 hours ago.
Uh-huh.
For some reason, I noticed a bit of audio weirdness in the dub during the Jogress evolution sequences. So I am going to put that in the call chat, and I'm going to play it on my side so that people can hear it. It is so genuinely fucking weird. Here we go. Weirdianaudio.mp3. So this is like a bit during the thing where you just hear like them say their name and they disappear into the background and there's like the flash of light. The explosion they play during the flash of light sounds really crunchy and like cut off. It's bizarre.
It's like a stock explosion.
Yeah.
Tune.
It's like just it almost sounds like fart with reverb, like in this particular clip. It's so fucking funny. I was like dying when I heard it. And apparently it's just every time. This is just the one I noticed it on. So yeah, I just wanted
Oh my god, it does sound like the fucking fart with reverb.
Right?
Holy shit.
It's so funny. I think it's just this like rip of the dub from like this is probably like a fucking VHS rip. It's just really crunchy. Which is probably what caused this, but it's very, very goofy. So the dub actually. Oh wait, I almost skipped a note. So you know how the train part, it's just like still shots of them and like the comedy is in the fact that it's just a still shot.
Mm-hmm.
You'll never guess what happened.
Put dialogue over it.
They didn't put dialogue over the train joke. They left it as is. For
I know
once,
that must have taken a lot of restraint.
For once, they managed to fucking restrain themselves. Bravo, Saban. I forgive everything you've ever done.
Hang on a minute. Let's just not get hasty here.
The dub actually makes a joke about it looking like a fucking scanner gun from a grocery store. they talk about barcodes. My next note is Ken still says Davis first. # love wins. And then my final note, Dark View Terrace. They actually kept the joke. And rather, because they call it
the joke now doesn't make sense.
It makes no sense. He says something like, Heightened View Terrace was always such a bad name. Why not call it something like Dark View Terrace?
What if it was hell, a spooky hell end?
What if it was a fucking scary and spooky and it was hell on earth? So by the way, in English, Yukio Oikawa is voiced by Jameson Price. And that is very obvious. His voice is very recognizable.
Yep.
At this point, Daemon is finally given a fucking intro card. In the last episode he appears in.
I was about to say his last episode, by the way.
So everyone's hankering for that dark seed. That's all anyone wants.
Fly my seed.
It all comes back to Hikarigaoka, etc., etc. Because that's apparently where a digital gate is located, because that's where the original incident took place. Yada yada yada. And that's why
fucking parrot.
This fucking parrot, he's the key to all this. Miyako has a bit of an internal conversation convincing herself that killing was in fact okay in the situation, and she's right, it was okay. Like, if you didn't do that,
awesome.
People would die.
Killing is awesome.
That's true, we should kill more people.
Brackets parody, joke.
I'm never joking. Everything I say is 100% serious at all times. You can put this on record. /SRS.
Are you SRS or J?
Are you JK or Sirs?
While Arukenimon is like leading Ken like out, Vemon jumps off the top of the truck and fucking headbutts her.
Vemon head.
The headbutt. So at this point, there are like this is something that I think about the show is very, very cool, and I'm really mad it's for half of one episode where there are 3 factions who are all vying for the same thing, and that is Ken. The other 2 want Ken because of the dark seed he's got inside him. But, like, there are 3 factions here that all want, like, Ken. So there's like a standoff between 3 people, and they're, like, all fighting with each other. Like, Daemon is like distracting from like Arukenimon, which allows Vmon to jump in, and then that allows Daemon to get like there's cool stuff happening here, and I wish we could have had more of it. But you know, production issues, yay. And also there's like 5 episodes of the show left, yay.
Whoa.
Yeah, so you know, just cool stuff. At a point, Daemon gets real big. I think they attack him. Like, with all 3 of them at once, like, the 3 Jogress attack him, and when the smoke clears, he's just real big. So he shoots, like, oh god, what is this move called? Flame Inferno.
Yes.
He shoots out a Flame Inferno, and the other 2 dodge it, but Shakomon, like, absorbs it, and then spews out steam like a teapot.
Yeah, he's got, like, a little chimney, he goes, ooh.
He's like a kettle, it's adorable. So after he does that, and like Daemon is slightly distracted, Imperial Dramon basically walks up and point blank positron lasers Daemon. At which point, the other 2 get him with the combo, where he is then hit by god, I think Arimatama is the I-beams. I forget which is which. And then, and then Top Gun. It's either Arigatama or Nigimatama. Like, it's one of the 2. And then Top Gun. And, like, all 3 of them hit him in like, a combo. And then he proceeds to no-sell it. It just didn't affect him at all. You know.
Number's pretty big.
Yeah, we're properly selling the fact that Daemon is, you know, a pretty sizable threat. Like, 3 hits from an ultimate and 2 perfects, and it didn't do shit. Okay. We're getting something laid down here. We got some groundwork. We cut to Ken's parents on the TV that they're like watching worried, and they're just like, oh my god, all this monster stuff is happening right now. I hope Ken's not involved. And they're both just like, no, Ken would never be involved in this kind of thing.
And Ken, did you kidnap all those children?
God. So Daemon basically points his hand at an apartment building and is like, if you don't come along with me, I'm killing all these innocent people. At which point Ken is like, fair enough. You got it, boss. And then I believe, so I'm not, this is where my memory is starting to get a little fuzzy. I think at this point, like, Daemon uses Flame Inferno again, and Imperial Dramon uses his weird force field shield thing to, like, catch the fire and push it back toward Daemon as like a beam struggle style thing. At which point, I think he turns to, like, Ken and Daisuke and is like, do something. And Daisuke's like, how would I know what to do in this situation? What do you want from me?
This guy's number's too big. We can't beat that.
So, also, they flash back to Ken and Daisuke being absorbed into Imperial Dramon's, like, back to, I guess, be like, this is what this force field did. This is why he can do this, by the way. He can just make force fields. So they run the option of, okay, what if we opened a digital gate and sent him back to the digital world? At which point Daemon's like, joke's on you, I can do that myself. How do you think I got here? So he opens a gate behind him and he's like, if you want to do it, be my guest. I'm just going to come right back. So they're like, okay, fuck. That's not going to work. At which point I believe Takeru, or no, well, Miyako and Ori start dooming really hard about how they could never beat him, and it's all hopeless and they're doomed. At which point Takeru is just like, if only there was somewhere we can send him that wasn't the digital world and also wasn't the real world. And then it's like,
can't get out of.
Oh my god. The Doshin.
The Dark Doshin Giant.
See? It did matter. We brought it back, baby.
Yep. Yeah, it sure. Yep. That's what that'll lead to. It's the thing we get to shove Daemon into. That's what that all was about, I guess. That's definitely how that was planned out. That's definitely how that was meant to work.
Bridget, settle down.
Hey.
So they realize, or Ken realizes that he can probably open a portal to the Dark Ocean, given that he has like a direct connection with it. And as he starts to do it, he's clearly in pain and is like not enjoying the process because he's having to like directly face things he has like a horrible phobia of. And so all the other kids like one by one start like grabbing onto Ken's hands and
hold
like,
on to him and
yeah.
and it's like, oh my god, what the fuck? What the fuck is that, Ken?
They're just like, you can do it, buddy. You gotta face your fears. And then of course, Daisuke is the last one to grab on, and he gets this really like impassioned speech about, you know, how Ken can get past this because he's stronger than he thinks he is, etc., etc. And of course, this is what gets Ken through it, and he manages to fully open the gate to the Dark Ocean.
I love you.
Yeah, no, literally, these two boys are so fucking gay. So they manage to push Daemon into the Dark Ocean. And as my note is, in all caps, you will come to regret this. Parenthetical, this is never mentioned again.
I just like his at one point, he basically goes, the fucking Dagomon?
Oh, yeah, he says, like, oh, yeah, that's what, Dagomon's realm? Okay.
He says Dagomon's ocean, yeah.
Yeah. And then so they push him into the Dark Ocean, and he's like, you're going to regret this. I'll be back. And then it closes. And I need everyone to understand, we never hear from Daemon again. The Dark Ocean is never brought up again. This is it.
I think he gets brought up by the villain of trying at like that ending monologue that goes nowhere anyway.
For
I think he's
02.
like I mean, this is like it's over in 02. Like, yeah, like you know, even in Adventure at the whole, it's like he gets brought up like once, like a single throwaway mention. It's like, oh, maybe I'll bring him back, and then he doesn't get brought back. So yeah, no, they in fact will live to their fucking like mid-20s at least to not regret this.
Someone in we'll get into that later, but like someone on Try was like, bring back the Dark Ocean, and then every other part to fucking subsection of the anime teams just went, no, don't do that.
No, in fact,
the Dark Ocean fucking sucks. The Dark Ocean might actually like genuinely be one of the worst parts of Digimon, like as a franchise. This shit is ass, dude.
I would say it is just the worst part of the franchise, like in general. I don't think there's anything in Digimon at all that comes even close to how despicable and worthless the Dark Ocean is, like, as a thing.
This shit is so bad. This doesn't lead to anything. Anything that sets it up is awful and disgusting. What was this all about?
We'll get on our soapbox about it during the wrap-up episode, but yeah, no, fuck this stupid thing.
This shit sucks.
So after all the commotion is done and wrapped up, the cops start showing up. So Oikawa's like, "Oh shit, it's the cops! Jesus,
run!"
Daisuke appropriately says that you can't trust cops with anything, so they leave. He's like, "There's no point in talking to them. They're not gonna help us." Takaru is just like, "Oh, Ken, yeah, no, you can take my seat in the car. My apartment's nearby. I can just walk. It's all good, buddy." He's a nice friend and a good boy. It was
cute. I like that.
Yeah. The children who Oikawa has implanted the Dark Seed data in, I guess, have all turned into basically mini Digimon Kaisers. They all have like that same fucked up and evil kind of like vibe to them. Joe's brother apologizing to all the parents and like rapidly trying to explain why he's late is like really funny.
This is like the third time he's had to do this.
It's so good. Upon seeing Joe's brother, June regales the fact that she's moved on from Yamato because that bastard protected Sora during the concert and not her. And she thought they had something. As it turns out, no. So anyway, she's infatuated with Joe's brother now. And the very end of the episode is Ken introducing Wormmon to his parents.
This is Wormmon.
This is Wormmon. And he says, "Hello, I'm Wormmon." And that's what the episode
That's crazy.
So that's wild, dude. Okay. Shindub Zone episode 45, The Dark Gate. Didn't change the name on this one. Flame Inferno was changed to Evil Inferno. That's it. That's the only name change. At one point, someone says, "Come on, Cody, you don't want to see them get hurt, right? We gotta kill these fuckers."
That was the exact quote. That's what they said.
Yep.
Kind of crazy that they put that. They have a line like that in a kid show.
I know that. Like you could get away with so much shit in the 2000s. Yoli, rather than being introspective about being okay with murder, is just worried about Dave instead. Like she doesn't reflect on the whole murder thing. She just kind of gets over it. Daemon calls Shakamon an overgrown vacuum cleaner.
That's not very nice. You slurp.
Yeah.
Alright.
For some reason, Dual Sonic has been changed to Astral Laser, I think is what Sylphimon says. I do not know. Like, I had to like triple check to make sure that they were saying some weird like word. I do not think they called it Astral Laser before. I'm pretty sure this is the first time they ever do. But it is Dual Sonic, so who knows? At a point, Davis says, "Bullseye, baby!" Like, exactly like that. It is incredible. Great line read. During the section in which Ken's parents are watching the news, they say, in health-related news, they found a cure for the monkey flu. This paints a horrifying picture of the Digimon universe in which there is a horrible disease called the monkey flu that I assume has just been ravaging the world. Like the plague. Absolutely insane.
I don't really want to dwell on the implications of this, honestly. I think we should just move on.
Sure. So do you remember when Imperial Dramon does the barrier thing to contain the fire? And they very briefly flash back to Ken and Daisuke being absorbed into the thing to be like, that's what this is. That's why he can do this. I guess the dub staff didn't get the memo, because when it cuts to the flashback, you just hear Cody say, "Look, Davis and Ken are in some kind of force field." As if
what that's about.
Like, I guess they just didn't realize it was a fucking flashback and thought it was just something that was happening in the episode. Fucking terrible. God, I hate Saban. But remember what I said about forgiving you earlier? Fuck you, never mind. At a point, one of the characters goes, "A dark gate." There's a pause. Everyone gasps. And then as Daemon is being thrown into the portal, he says, "But I will be back." And then in brackets, I have Damon died on his way to the Dark Ocean.
There we go.
Well, that was the entire Daemon arc.
Hold on, there's still 2 more dub notes that are very important. 1 more dub note that just says, they're at a point, a police officer is talking to a child, and he says, "How about a nice big donut?" I guess to calm him down. And then my final note is just fighting every instinct I have to make a joke about cops being useless based on the dialogue here, because at one point he says, "He's probably long gone by now. Be careful," in reference to the person who kidnapped 30 children. Are you kidding me? They're just like, "Hey, he's probably long gone by now. Don't fucking worry about it. Whatever. If he kidnaps more kids, we could just find him then." But for the sake of expediency and time, moving into episode 46, Black War Greymon vs. War Greymon.
Yeah, we're back to Black War Greymon now. That
We're
was
back to
the whole day.
Oh, yeah.
That was the whole Daemon arc, by the way. Hope you enjoyed sitting for all those 3 episodes of important content.
Yeah, that's just over.
This is over.
All right. So the kids have approached Ken's dad because, again, Oikawa was a work friend of his. So they approach him to be like, "Hey, who the fuck is this guy?" And he basically is like, "Oh, yeah, Oikawa. Yeah, we go way back." And then he takes out a picture of, like, them standing together and with, like, an office photo. So, yeah, he was just some guy. Like, I think they even comment he just looks like some guy.
What's his problem?
Oikawa, Arcanimon, and Mummymon have decided to take refuge in, like, an abandoned...
like, cottage.
Yeah, it's like a cottage or something. In order to open the door, Arukenimon just rips the fucking handle off of it, which I guess undoes the lock, and they just open it. they're all inside watching a news report about all the bullshit that just happened. They're talking about, like, oh, the government's keeping stuff from you. There were monsters. I saw them. Stuff like that, Which, he's right. There were, in fact, monsters. He did, in fact, see them. Then we start catching up with all the parents of, like, the children who have had the dark seed put in them. And they're all, like, the kid is just like, oh yeah, I finished all my summer homework. And the parents are just like, oh my God, our kid is so smart and athletic now, just like Kenichi Joji. Oh my God, our kid is just like Ken. This is such a blessing. Thank God.
I'm so happy my son isn't a pathetic disappointment anymore.
Oh, thank God, we no longer have to throw him in the furnace. Takeru's mom has received a list, or like wrote out a list of all the children who were kidnapped and their addresses, so the rest of the kids can go ahead and like try and find them and figure out if they're okay. Because, they have like they know about the dark seed stuff because Ken probably relayed that information. So they all split up and decide to start checking on individual children. The first one we see is, I think, Hiyori and Takeru. I'm pretty sure it's them. And they're like waiting for a girl. And as she's walking home, a cat walks up and starts like rubbing its head on her ankle. And then she fucking kicks the cat, just really taking after the Digimon Kaiser.
Stupid mutt.
Stupid mutt. Yeah, she kicks the cat, and they're both just like, oh. Oh.
I miss Ken's Kaiser dub voice. It's so fucking funny.
So at this point, Iori is considering, oh, we might have to fight these kids. Which is, an interesting train of thought. So yeah, we just get more of like the Dark Seed kids being weird and fucked up, just like Kaiser can. Like one of them is calling them insects, stuff like that. We go back to Oikawa and all them, and he's just like, Arukenimon, go put the fucking snow chains on the tires. It's just like, what? Why me? And he's like, because I fucking said so. Now go.
God damn it.
She leaves in a huff. And while she's out there putting the chains on the tires, she sees a meteor like crash land. And she's like, oh, damn, that's fucking crazy. Anyway, we find out that the meteor was actually Black War Greymon. He's returned to the real world. He's here now. Yay!
Yippee!
Yay!
Oh my God, I missed you.
Oh my God, hi! So the next morning, Oikawa hears something outside and wakes up Mummymon and Arukenimon by throwing a fucking pillow at them. He treats these two like complete shit. Pretty good. Good bit.
Yeah.
Black War Greymon just starts blowing up the fucking house.
Yeah, no, he just throws a Gaia Force like straight through it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's pretty great. It's awesome. So, they obviously run out to start confronting him. In the meantime, Taichi and Hikari have been called to the digital world because there was a bunch of like destruction wrought by Black War Greymon. So they know that he's like back. And then Agumon mentions the fact that the barrier between the two worlds has begun to deteriorate again. And likely because Qinglongmon had to give up some of his power in order to like give them the ability to digivolve and all that kind of stuff. Apparently, Qinglongmon had enough spare power to allow Agumon, and specifically Agumon, to reach his ultimate stage again. Not Agumon, though. Fuck that guy.
Yeah. Well, I guess they really did like the showruns for like we can't just make Omnimon available again.
Yeah.
You would just kind of solo the whole thing. We gotta make up a reason why we can't have Omnimon, even though we can have literally everyone else just like go as far as they possibly could.
Yeah. So the confrontation between Black War Greymon and Oikawa is very interesting because we learn that like Oikawa's Arukenimon and Mummimon's dad? He digitized his DNA, and that's what he used to create Arukenimon and Mummimon. Which is fucking weird, by the way.
You're weird.
Black War Greymon calls him an alien substance, and this really pisses him off.
It's like, I'm not fucking alien. I'm a human. I belong here. And he's like, I don't care. I'm gonna kill you.
Yep.
I think what's interesting about this is like he's saying this about like Oikawa and like Arakenimon and Mamimon, but because of that, like by proxy, he's actually saying this about himself as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because he's like, well, they created you, like, Kenimon made you, but I made her, so you're made for me. And he's like, cool, whatever. Yeah, I'm killing you anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I'm killing you all and then myself.
Yep. He very much is like, you are a foreign substance that does not belong in this world, and by extension, neither do I. So I'm going to get rid of you, and then I'm going to get rid of myself.
Which, like, comes off kind of like... It comes off less like an actual belief he has and more of a, like...
I haven't got an answer yet, so fucking...
I haven't got an answer yet, so I need, like... He's basically trying to justify killing himself later.
Yeah.
Because he still doesn't understand why he's, like... why he exists.
Yep. I actually quite like this scene.
Yeah.
And then, as they're about to come at each other's throat, Agumon appears and quite literally goes, "Stop fighting!"
Hello, Agumon.
Which they do. They do stop fighting. Agumon transforms. Digivolves to Wargreymon, and then the Warg versus Warg fight begins.
Yeah,
oh God bless them. They're trying. It looks like shit.
Yeah, this fight looks like fucking garbage.
Yeah, but also
it's cool.
Consider, I'm gonna put this in call chat.
Yeah, that is very yaoi. Fucking straddling him. Jesus Christ. Get a room. So
I thought you wanted to be friends.
So obviously, two ultimate level Digimon duking it out in the middle of like populated areas is not good. So at a point, the rest of the Digidestined start chasing down Oikawa, Arukenimon, and Mummymon while Black Wargreymon and Wargreymon are fighting each other. And these two things are like happening side by side, and they keep interfering with one another. Like,
it's a really sick sequence.
Yeah,
actually.
I really like the back half of this episode. It's really cool.
Like they're driving around a cliff, and like Black or Greymon's like fucking Gaia forces crashing into the cliff.
Mm-hmm.
I also like that it feels like this is something that other shows pay a little more attention to, but like both adventure shows do. This feels like I like this bit here because they're like taking real notice of like, oh, we're like fighting in these like populated areas where like if like we just let the fighting go on here, like we're gonna do serious damage to infrastructure and endanger people. We need to like not be doing this here.
Yeah. They're very much just like, okay, we need to move this somewhere else. So like they do that. Like Black Wargreymon and Wargreymon, like or rather Wargreymon leads Black Wargreymon into like just near Mount Fuji, I think, just like a very sparsely populated area, and Imperial Dramon follows them. And while
by the way, shout outs to the scene where they're like diverting all the the cars away, and it's fucking XVmon and Stingmon holding up the signs,
like,
going,
Yay.
go here. Sorry for the inconvenience.
Yeah, and fucking Daisuke sitting there holding a sign that's just like one arrow that splits three ways, and the top arrow is like where people were going, and it's like it just has a big X on it. It's like no, you can't go there. Two dinosaurs are fighting each other.
Go dinosaurs are fighting. Like you can't be here.
Yeah, go one of the other two ways, please. So they do that, so the chase of Oikawa actually continues on foot while the fight is happening, and like they run through like populated markets and shit, and Arukenimon and Mummymon are using that to their advantage. Like at one point, I think they say like we can't attack them while we're running through here, and Mummymon turns around and is like, I can, and starts shooting at them.
There's like a good bit where because they're all like Oikawa and the rest are like driving like a tiny little minivan.
Yeah,
and so like Mummymon is just shooting at the back, and there's a bit where Oikawa's like, Arcanimon, fucking get out there and do something.
Yeah.
And she fucking transforms while she's still in the car.
Yes.
And it looks really funny.
Yeah, this whole chase sequence is like really, really, really good. I very much enjoyed it. So after like the chase sequence kind of like does it like properly end? Do they manage to catch up to them or they get away? I think they get away in the market because there's fucking people there, yeah. But after that, we cut to the end. Like the fight between Wargreymon, Black Wargreymon, and Imperial Dramon is over. Wargreymon is like splayed out on the ground, like or Black Wargreymon is, and Agumon, Vmon, and Wormmon are all kind of scattered around, and he's sitting there just like, you should have just killed me. Like, you should have killed me. Why didn't you kill me?
It's like, I knew I wasn't gonna win. You knew I wasn't gonna win.
And so, I forget who says it. One of them basically says, stop trying to look cool.
It's Wormmon.
Yeah,
okay.
Wormmon.
So yeah, Wormmon basically goes on a tirade where he's just like, could you stop trying to kill yourself and like punish yourself or some shit? It's not a good look. And of course, Wormmon, this is a, you know, a personal issue for him, given how Ken was constantly trying to kill himself.
Yeah, basically.
Wormmon, and also that time Wormmon basically sacrificed himself.
So yeah, they all are just like he questions like, what's the point of living if there's no like, if I don't have a purpose to work toward? And like Agumon and Vmon are just like, well, you know, sometimes life doesn't need like a strict like grand purpose. My favorite things to do, like my favorite moments in life when I'm happy is when I'm just kind of hanging out with friends and eating good food. Like you can live for
the worth living, bro.
Like literally that. Like you can live for the small things. Like it's okay to do that. And Black Wargreymon says that is a truly miserable life. And then he says, I'll try living that miserable life.
Because again, this goes back to earlier where it's like that whole spiel about like Oikawa and Momimon and Arcanimon being foreign substances. Like he's saying this about himself almost more than them, it feels like. And he's going on this like suicide mission basically because he knows if he tries to kill them, someone's gonna try to stop him, and like he hopes that like his hope is that like going on this mission will just get him killed because like people keep trying to like he keeps trying to find his purpose. People keep saying he has to find his own purpose, and like in his head he's just not finding it. He's just not getting like what he perceives to be like what in his head there is supposed to be this like real purpose that he is meant to find, but he's just like not finding. And it's like he kind of just wishes he was dead instead of trying to find a search. And literally Wormmon's like, no, you like you need to keep suffering. You need to keep like struggling to find it because like that's living, and that is more fulfilling and more purposeful than just fucking trying to off yourself because you're having an existential crisis.
Yeah. Like there is more to it, dude. Like the small struggles we go through every day are what living is. Good. It's really good shit.
The show got so much better when Black Wargreymon came back. I used to think that this guy was like a stupid fucking edgy dumbass who had like no real purpose, and I'm like, God, you're like the one part of this back half that I really like.
I do like me some B-Warg. Yeah, that's where this episode ends, which means we can really quickly move into Shin Dub Zone episode 46, Duel of the Wargreymon.
I like Black Wargreymon.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
So during the sequence where they're breaking into like the old cottage, you hear Oikawa from off screen goes, I believe that opens inward. At which point Arcanimon rips the door handle off and she goes, well, it does now. And I thought that was just the fucking good joke alert, everybody.
Woo!
They did it! Yay! So believe it or not, they kept in the kid kicking the cat. Cody actually goes, she kicked it.
Holy fuck, she kicked it.
But they cut out Ken kicking the dog.
Legitimately, I think something changed at like the back half of 02 where they just like were more okay with keeping some stuff in and just not changing stuff. It like throughout the entirety of 02, it's been getting better and better about like not changing things. Like the guns they had.
I'm gonna assume the gun. I'm going to assume they were just getting lazy about it. The gun.
Yeah, you know what? I don't want to give them any rope. You're right. They were just lazy. So when Oikawa sends our Kenimon out into the snow, he says, "Because you're annoying me." So when she's out there doing up the chains, she goes, "Because you're annoying me," like in that fucking mocking voice.
I'm not annoying.
Oh, that was annoying.
When Black War Greymon shows up, there's an exchange that goes, "It's Black War Greymon. Oh no!" And then in a weirdly sultry voice, Steve Bloom goes, "Oh yes." Don't know why he
Good for him.
Don't know why he did that. And then at the end of the episode, when Wormmon is having his little tirade, I think he's even harsher in English because he goes, "Life has no meaning. Poor, poor, pitiful me." It's like, God damn, dude.
Tell us how you really feel.
It's great. That's gonna wrap up this episode. Yippee! And you know what that means? The next set of episodes is the finale of 02, 47 through 50. We're gonna be done with 02, and then we gotta do, we gotta do the wrap up and Revenge of Diaboromon, but
yeah.
Yay, Diaboromon.
Yippee! And then after that, like after our finale, oh man.
Oh wait, it doesn't get better after that. Oh no.
No, it doesn't actually. We're doing our special live stream event for Digimon the movie, where everyone's going to be invited to watch along with us, and we're going to do live commentary on it.
It's been.
And then
Wixich looked at me.
And then after that, we get to do Try for 6 straight weeks.
When's Tamers?
And then we get to do Kizuna in the beginning, and then Tamers right after that.
Oh, yeah.
So don't worry, Bridget. You only have about 4 months of content left until we get.
Stop doing that.
Don't gurgle.
Sorry.
All right. And that'll be it from us this week, everybody. We're gonna go play Dawn Trail. Bye.
Digimon makes me want to be dead.
I'm having fun.